to just 30 minutes, and we'll just sign off and go from there. But let's all agree to just kind of keep the communication channels open from now until Summer Institute. And so I've presented the first meeting agenda on your screen here. And what I've asked Berenice Weber here at the CASAS office is to make available a technology trainer or resources for technology trainers webpage. And I'm going to actually have her add it to this CASAS website webpage. At the moment, I'm not sure whether or not we'll make this publicly accessible, but but I will definitely make the link available to you directly, so that just keep that link handy so that you can go to the resources, and it'll probably be down here, resources for technology trainers, and the web page will have content shared relevant to Summer Institute 2018. Okay, so that will be your go-to resource and bookmark for the latest information. I'm also just letting you know that I am recording this session, just so that in case those who are unable to attend can listen to the video as well as view the agenda, and then glean any insight from the discussion that we have during this brief time. So I hope everyone is okay with recording, and this is actually the primary reason why I'm not inclined to make the resource web page publicly accessible, because it will have our recorded discussions. Okay, does that sound fair enough, folks? Sound like a good plan or not?
Sounds good.
Sounds perfect.
Okay, great, wonderful. Welcome, Steve. I see that you are connected and joining us. Great, and I see, Selena, I see that you don't have a microphone. That's okay. I'll do my best to monitor the chat box and go from there. All right, so this agenda will be made available to you on the resource webpage. And of course, we have the National Summer Institute. So just be sure to bookmark these on your calendar. I'm sure you already have June 19th through 21. But actually, technology trainers begin on the 18th, which is Monday. So be sure to carve out that time for joining us for the Summer Institute. And this year we are back at the Town and Country. Next year we will be back in Anaheim. Can't remember, folks, what the name of that hotel was. Some of you may remember. The name slips my mind just right offhand. So that was kind of interesting. So this year in San Diego, Town and Country, June 18 through 21. Yeah.
It was a Hyatt Regency.
Hyatt Regency. Thanks, Martha. Appreciate that. Okay, now for registration, all technology trainers so far should have received an email correspondence from Jennifer Suarez. She is our event planner for Summer Institute, and it was an invitation to join us as a technology trainer. Or part of the technology training team. And so she attached a presenter registration form. And so if you have not committed, or if you have not completed and returned this presenter form, then please do so as soon as possible to Jennifer. This year we sent these out ahead of time, compared to in previous years, because last year and in previous years we've run into issues where technology trainers have paid the regular registration fees, and then you have to wait until after Summer Institute for that refund to be processed back to your organization. And so be sure and do that. Okay. Now, registration, there is the registration web page on the National Summer Institute website. And so you can click here to, you're not necessarily going to register online, but I'm sure most of you perhaps have already visited this, but just to make sure it pointed out, this is the complete list of lab and workshop listings. Now it's a little bit difficult to decipher from this listing exactly where where these labs occur and when and what time. So I have another resource to share with you. But as you can see here, our labs are getting full. The capacity, the labs for implementation as well as labs for TOPS Pro Enterprise Online. Those labs have been bumped up to a 50 capacity. CASAS tests online implementation, we've kept that primarily at a 30 capacity there. So interest is high and labs are being filled up, as you can see, according to this list. So if you have a chance to, preview this list, this is where you will get the session descriptions specifically, about that information. So you can see we have quite a lot of labs, more than we have in times past. And I forgot the schedule of events. Anyway, so we do have more labs offered. We've reduced the session time from 3-hour labs down to 1.5 hour labs, and both of these aspects are reflective of feedback from the Past Summer Institute. We had an overwhelming requests for more labs to choose from, and labs that were less time, so that way it frees folks up to attend other labs, or other, not labs, but other sessions that are going on while the lab sessions are being conducted. Now let me pop back over. I skipped over this. Here is our schedule of events. Here again, this is the National Summer Institute webpage, so hopefully you've had a chance to view this, and you may want to just bookmark this to return to. Eventually we'll add the program here, we'll add information about the keynote and so forth. But this right here, this overview of the schedule of events, this is very brief, but at least this will give you an indication of the meals that are provided. I know many of you will need to plan that in your budgeting or requesting for the time to join us, so that at least this way you know what meals are provided to you, such as Tuesday, there's breakfast as well as a hosted lunch. Wednesday, a breakfast again, lunch is on your own. Actually though, Martha, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe for technology trainers and all, we do provide you lunch. Did we do that
I'm
last year?
not sure. We need to double check with Jennifer, but as
Oh,
far as I understand, I don't think it's provided for Wednesday. It is for Tuesday though.
okay. So folks will, I'll take note of that and follow up on that. So breakfast each morning, Tuesday or Thursday morning, breakfast again. And that's about it. Wednesday evening, there is the evening reception, so dinner is provided to you. Monday, as we have done in years past, we meet, I believe it's around 1, so lunch is on your own ahead of time, and then meeting at 1. And so we'll have more details to come with regards to this schedule here. Okay. And folks, don't hesitate to interrupt or ask questions along the way. I realize I'm just kind of streaming through this. I'm just so concerned about the time. And so don't hesitate to ask questions. Okay.
Thank you, Dawn.
Yeah, you're welcome.
If I may interrupt you, I have a quick question. This is my first time being a trainer with you, which I appreciate the opportunity. I would like to know, is there an expectation of us to be at the Summer Institute all 4 days, the whole time?
No, we appreciate the time that you can spend with us. We do have some trainers due to schedules and commitments that have to leave prematurely in a way, such as Wednesday afternoon. They'll come Monday through, and train with us on Tuesday all day, and then leave on Wednesday. Or some trainers can't make it on Tuesday and they'll come Wednesday and Thursday. So it's flexible, Fabiola.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And you know, folks, sorry about just jumping right into this. Fabiola, if you wouldn't mind, just we do appreciate you as a newcomer here to the technology support team, as well as Steve. If you'd like to maybe just introduce yourself to the group, that would be great. We'll
Oh,
start.
of course.
Yeah, go ahead, Fabiola.
Fabiola Epperly from Sweetwater Union High School District in Chula Vista, down here by the border, data manager for the division.
Great. Thank you, Fabiola.
Of course.
And Steve, are you connected via audio? Okay. Well, folks, Steve is from Ventura Adult School, and so hopefully we'll hear from him. Steve, if you're not connected via audio, feel free to go ahead and enter any information you would like to share in the chat box. Again, we have returning Selena Paola from Miami-Dade County Public Schools. Welcome back, Selena. And let's see, and then Connie. Let's see, Connie, you have audio. Would you like to say hello to everyone?
Hello, everyone. This is my second year, so I'm still kind of a newbie. And I'm from West Contra Costa, up in Richmond by San Francisco.
Great. Well,
nice to meet you.
Well, thanks for returning, Connie. Evidently, we didn't scare you off last year, so we appreciate your returning to the team and contributing of your time. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just going to go down the list. Martha, do you want to just kind of chime in? I think everybody knows you, but go ahead.
Hi, everyone. Martha Perez with the CASAS Tech Support Team. Always, happy to assist you folks. And now here we're going to be joining training, and that would be a lot of fun.
Great. Thanks, Martha.
Sure.
And Mike, I see that you're muted, so I don't know if you're probably busy testing in your lab, or if you have a second, if you want to chime in, that'd be great.
I'll just say good morning. It's Mike Capel from Cupertino, Sunnyvale Adult Education Program.
Great. Thanks, Mike, for joining us. And then Oscar, would you like to say hello?
Sure. Good morning, everyone. This is Oscar Peña from CASAS Tech Support and a certified trainer.
Great. Thank you, Oscar. And Steve? Oh, there you, Steve. Okay, no mic, no problem. So, folks, look at your chat. Steve Thompson is the assistant principal of Ventura Adult Continuing Education. So thank you so much, everyone, again, for joining us. And as you can tell, I'm a little bit rusty or distracted. I don't know what you want to call it, but I should have done this up front. So thank you for sharing that information. Okay, we do have some other trainers that received notification, and hopefully they will join us at some point in time. And so we'll hopefully we'll hear from them throughout the course of these meetings. Okay. So we talked about the National Summer Institute, carving out those dates and times and location, turning in your presenter registration form to Jennifer Suarez, and just the brief outline of the schedule of events. You'll want to perhaps grab a copy of that and just take note of those days and times and the events as they are occurring throughout the Summer Institute. And then preview the workshop lab listing and notice the increased number of labs and so forth. Now, the lab schedule I have here on this document, and I'll be making this document available to you. This is a little bit easier to digest than the list of workshops for the Summer Institute. And so you can see how we basically have 4 strands. So in this Royal Palm lab, we'll primarily be having everything that has to do with specifically TOPS Pro Enterprise data management. Royal Palm 2 is TOPS Pro Enterprise as well. However, this is more of your advanced topics. As you can see here in Royal Palm 1, these are primarily basic topics with a few interspersed advanced topics such as exchanging data. So we had to kind of just move things around just ever so slightly, but try to create these, strands, or keep similar topics in the same lab. Okay. Then in Royal Palm 3, this is kind of the teacher track or program coordinator track with instructional reports, accessing and managing classes, quick search online, how teachers can use listening in the classroom, or just how proctors can use listening if a program has not incorporated listening in their programs. We have then in Royal Palm 5, basically this is repeating coordinators, proctors, coordinators, proctors, coordinators, proctors, and so forth. So, so there are many, many opportunities for folks to join a lab with a specific topic, a concentrated topic for an hour and a half. And so that way it gives them many more options. So, and this is a direct result and request from last program year. So we'll share that with you. Let me return to the agenda here. Training descriptions. We have general outlines, and I'll talk about training materials in just a moment. So I want to actually pop over to this document, and I'll make this available. We've had a few minor changes, but this right here is what I initially submitted to the Summer Institute Planning Committee for approval of the various lab sessions. And so what I did basically, here's the lab schedule that you just saw on that one document. And then here are the different lab sessions that are offered. So this is the description that is posted online for registration. And what I did for the planning committee for approval, I included general outlines per training. So this is a general idea of the delivery of that 1.5 hour session. So for example, here TOPS Pro Enterprise, those of you who have trained with us in years past, TOPS Pro Enterprise Basics has primarily been a 3-hour lab session offered annually. Well, this year we are actually splitting TE Basics into 3.5-hour topic-specific basics sessions for this year's Summer Institute. And this has been requested based on Summer Institute evaluations for more labs, shorter labs, smaller labs. Well, that didn't quite happen with TOPS Pro Enterprise because we had more requests to join labs, so we had to increase those those numbers there. But targeted topics and targeted audience. So you see here we have the description, we have the targeted audience here, and of course led by technology trainers, and then you have the general outline. So there's the quick start, basics quick start. Then we have the basics generating reports, and then basics scanning. So those 3 separate SI labs will comprise what was formerly presented as a 3-hour TE Basics lab session. Okay. And then there's, and I won't go through these page by page, but I just wanted to give you an overview of this type of information to address what we are planning to do for training material, or I should say maybe what we're planning not to do for training material this year. Those of you who have joined us have known that we've gone through great strides to produce training material in booklets that can be quite detailed. And so we've wanted to make it easier for facilitating training and to bring full undivided attention to the trainer, with the trainer having full command of all participants in that lab. And we felt the best way to do that is to provide participants with simply the general outline. In other words, the intended delivery of that training session. So this is why I spent the time to come up with these general outlines ahead of time. And now this doesn't mean these are written in stone, but this is the general concept of what we plan to deliver in that training. And then you, as a trainer, and already proficient in TOPS Pro Enterprise as well as CASAS eTest Online, then you have that background knowledge, not only working knowledge of the application itself, but then you can also bring in your field experience, your in using the application at your local programs, and how the topic of the information that you are sharing and training on during that session has been relevant and beneficial to your local program. So we're not going to be producing the booklets this year for training participants. They will simply receive a training outline. So that way you don't have participants sitting at a computer monitor, looking at the monitor, looking at their book, looking at the overhead screen, as at the same time listening to the trainer. So we wanted to eliminate those distractors, so to speak, so that the participants are solely listening to and taking direction from the trainer. So
Question, Don.
Yes.
Question, Don. This is Oscar. So in past trainings, people have requested, because you have both groups, people who can do just fine with an outline and people who would like to have a detailed description of step-by-step. In the event that people request detailed description, is there something that we can provide that's going to be available online via a PDF or something?
Yes, and thank you, Oscar, for bringing that up. That is the intention, is that we will have separate documents, such as if we're looking at here at TOPS Pro or TE Basics, Quick Start, such as a single, sheet on navigation and a single, sheet on finding and editing data. So yes, so Oscar, this is an attempt to or take the opportunity rather than in years past when we have provided booklets. These were the booklets used at Summer Institute here. Instead, we'll take the time to update the documentation for TOPS Pro Enterprise, as well as documentation for CASAS eTests. So this will be a go-to resource. So this will be a regular resource that you will want to point out to participants pretty much in every workshop. So So we'll be working on that. I may ask for help from some of you folks for putting together documentation and so forth. So let's see. Let me go back to the agenda so I don't run out of time. So I'll share that document with you. I just need to review it for a few minor changes, and then I'll make that available on the Technology Trainer Resource web page. Okay. So the general outlines, training materials, and then the descriptions and the audience of the addressed in those trainings. And then we have this technology trainers. So these are all of the individuals that were sent invitations for joining us at this year's Summer Institute. If there is any information about you on this page that is incorrect, let me know, and I'll definitely make that correction. And those of you who are committed to joining us for Summer Institute, let us know if you need a replacement name tag. Hopefully you still have your name tag, but if for some unforeseen reason you've misplaced it and you need us to order one, it's better that we go ahead and order sooner than later. So just let us know that. All right. So what's next? Our next meeting, let's go here to the trainings here. The next date for our training on our calendar, let's see, is Wednesday, March 21 at 9 a.m. So we'll meet again on that date. So what I would like to ask you as the trainer is to review this document that I'm going to be sending out that includes the title of that training, the description, and the general outline, and maybe start to get an idea of which lab you would be most interested in participating as a trainer, even to the point of participating as perhaps a lead trainer. We were planning to only have 2 trainers per lab. Now that's a little bit scary with the Thompson Enterprise lab being, increasing to about a 50 capacity. So we'll see how that goes. But we did have a comment from training participants that they felt somewhat intimidated by having so many trainers in the room. So we'll probably just have 1 trainer or 2, basically 2 co-trainers that can do tag team, trade off, one trainer opening the session, starting the session, switch while the other trainer is assisting participants in the room, and then maybe switch it out, or wherever you feel you have your strengths, go ahead and handle those sections and let the other trainer handle the other sections. So these are some ideas that we're planning in presenting the workshops this year. So I hope this meets with everyone's approval. And we're hoping for just a really another successful Summer Institute with these changes. So with the last few minutes at hand, does anyone want to contribute any additional comments or suggestions or recommendations, questions, concerns?
Yeah, one question, Don. This is
Sure.
Oscar again. When can we expect for a finalized, schedule of sessions based on trainers?
Okay.
Sessions.
Yeah, we won't be assigning trainers to sessions until we, I think, pretty much hear from everyone. I would like, so I would like to hear from everyone what your interest is in a specific session. So here you have, say, the title, but what I would do is then reference the session description and the general outline for that training. And if this day and this time for this training, say, works for you, or you're most interested in that, then let us know so that we can take that into consideration when assigning trainers to specific sessions. So that's what I'm hoping, folks, that you'll be able to spend the time to do from now until the next meeting, so that we can then work on the training material and get those to you sooner than later. Does that sound like a plan?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And do we think we're going to have enough trainers this year that we can also maybe attend a session or 2 of our own?
Yes, and thank you, Connie, for bringing that up. And that's our intention for, offering so many labs at so many different times. The same topics are pretty much repeated throughout, these 3 days, and having 2 trainers, adhering to 2 trainers per lab. So yes, we've heard from many trainers that they would like to, and they really should, be able to attend other sessions going on at the Summer Institute, so that they bring additional information back to their local programs.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Let's see, Yuri, I see that you joined us. I don't know if you're connected via audio, if you want to say hi and bye, because we're pretty much out of time. Okay, hi, Yuri. See in the chat box. Thanks for saying hello. Folks, I'm going to end it without continuing discussion here. Keep the communication channels open. I'll be sharing follow-up with you. And if anyone doesn't have any further comments, we'll go ahead and end today's meeting, our first kickoff meeting. And thank you again for your participation and attendance.
Thank you, Dawn.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dawn.
Bye.
Goodbye.
You're welcome. Thanks, everyone.